drums of war are calling, calling out to you. The tribes of man are waiting for braves to fight for truth. I'm an info warrior. I have come to fight. I'm an info warrior. Come to shine the light. I'm an info warrior. I have come to fight. I'm an info warrior. Come to shine the light. You can't take my bow. You won't take my spear. I'm in the spirit. There is no fear. You can't take my bow, you won't take my spear. I'm in the spirit, there is no fear. I'm an info warrior, you won't take my spear. I have come to fight, there is no fear. I'm an info warrior, you won't take my spear. Come to shine the light, there is no fear. I'm an info warrior, you can't take my spear. I have come to fight.
Good evening, my family, my friends, and my enemies. We are live. This is Live Free or Die, and I'm your host, King Eli, king of alternative news on your Manhattan neighborhood network. This is the People's Network, where we, the people, get a chance to exercise our First Amendment and redress our grievances to our government, our tyrannical government, those pieces of garbage. All right. Before we get started with news today, today is August 11th, and tomorrow would be August 12th, the 7th anniversary of my mother's death, Miss Evelyn Diaz. And a lot of people always ask me, why do you do what you do? Why are you an info warrior? Well, first and foremost, my mind was unlocked on the very day of, coincidentally, July 4th of 2004, when I was told by my good friend Charles to go watch Loose Change. But then my mind got further unlocked in 2009 when my constitutional rights were violated. And then that just opened up Pandora's box. And me being an info warrior and doing my research and doing my homework, I stumbled upon this, coincidentally around the anniversary of my mom's death. May she rest in peace. Let's get to it. This one is called A Shot in the Dark. This was written in 1996. And in the late 50s and early 60s, approximately 12 million New Yorkers, most of them under 10 years old, lined up to be inoculated with a brand new vaccine that would protect them. It was the polio vaccine. All right, I gotta hold it together. And what I discovered on this research is what really caught my attention, besides the live cancer viruses in the Salk vaccine itself, was the side effects. Now, this vaccine, like I said, was given to 12 million children under the age of 10 years old during the years of 1955 and 1964. My mother was born in 1948, which means in 1955 she would have been 7 years old and in second grade, and she would have been eligible for this vaccine, this SV40 vaccine. And what I stumbled upon was the side effects. Besides, like I said, the live cancer viruses in this vaccine, one of the side effects that caught my attention was malignant tumors. Malignant-sized, baseball-sized tumors, basically. And immediately when I read that, it clicked in a memory from when I was a child, when I was an 11-year-old boy. And my mother had a baseball-sized tumor on the back, the size of this baseball right here. And she said, son, don't worry. We're going to go to the doctor. Doctor's going to take care of it. He's going to cut it out. Sure enough, he did. Now, what's etched into my memory is putting the bandages on her. having to see the staples on her back and having to bandage that up. I didn't realize at the time, that this was purposely put in the vaccines. But when I read this article and I read these side effects, it clicked. See, everything happens for a reason. My constitutional rights were violated because of this, so that I can open up Pandora's box and expose you evil eugenicists, sons of bitches. Yes, they killed my mother, and they killed probably 12 million New Yorkers and a bunch of other people around the world. If you took this polio Salk vaccine between the years of 1955 and 1963, you probably got baseball-sized tumors and cancer running through your body rampant. Now I want to go to this clip to show you. This is a PBS special by the doctor and the people who admitted this. Let's go to the clip. Bear with me. This is the Manhattan Neighborhood Network. All right. Let's go to it.
Vaccine had leukemia virus in it, and this is in the days of very crude science. So anyway, I went down and talked to him, and I said, well, why are you concerned about it? I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I have a feeling in my bones that this virus is different. I don't know why to tell you this, but I've been around biology a long time. I just think this virus may have some long-term effects. And he said, what? I said, cancer.
I love it.
And
I love it. Go ahead.
No. I said, Albert, you probably think I'm nuts, but I just have that feeling. Well, in the meantime, we had taken this virus and put it into hamsters. So we had this meeting, and that was sort of the topic of the day, and the jokes that were going around was, gee, we would win the Olympics because the Russians would all be loaded down with tumors. This is where the vaccine was being tested. This was
right. Right.
So, and it really destroyed the meeting. It was a big international.
Yeah, right.
So it was sort of a topic. Anyway.
Was this the Cancer Society meeting in the New York Cancer
No, this
Society?
was the Sister Kennedy.
Oh, the Sister Kennedy, right.
And Del Becco got up and said that he foresaw problems with these kinds of agents.
Why didn't this get out in the press?
Well, I guess it did. I don't remember. We had no press release on it, obviously. We don't go out. This is a scientific affair within the scientific community. This is a scientific affair within the scientific community.
An historic victory over a dread disease is dramatically unfolded at the University of Michigan. Here, scientists usher in a new medical age with the monumental reports that prove the Salk vaccine against crippling polio to be a sensational success. It's a day of triumph for 40-year-old Dr. Jonas E. Salk, developer of the vaccine. He arrives with Basil O'Connor, head of the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis, which financed the tests. Hundreds of reporters and scientists from all over the nation gather for the momentous announcement.
It was too much of a show. There was too much Hollywood. There was too much exaggeration. And the impression in 1957 that was, in 1954, that was given was that the problem had been solved, that polio had been conquered.
But anyway, we knew it was in our seed stock for making the vaccine. That virus, you see, it's 1 in 10,000 particles is not inactivated by formaldehyde. It was good science at the time because that was what you did. You didn't worry about these wild viruses.
So you discovered it wasn't being inactivated in the Salk vaccine?
Correct. So then, the next thing you know is 3-4 weeks after that, I found that there were tumors popping out in these hamsters.
Despite AIDS and leukemia...
Well, there you have it. That was a PBS special years ago that was done basically admitting that the Salk vaccine was infected with the live cancer virus, live leukemia virus, and a whole bunch of other viruses. And yes, this is the memories I have to live with as when I was 11-year-old boy, bandaging up my mother's back and being told by her, "Don't worry, son, everything's going to be okay," when in fact everything wasn't okay. And she passed away in 2005. You will be arrested. When the time comes, you all will be arrested. All you eugenicists. You scumbags. That's why I do what I do. I do what I do in memory and honor of my mother. I do what I do for my children, for my grandchildren and their future, and for the future of the children of the world. That's why I do what I do, and I am an info warrior for life. I will die fighting for my freedom, so help me God. I will be proud to die, fighting for freedom and truth and justice and liberty for all. All right. Let's move on to other news now. This next one is by Adin Salazar from InfoWars. Potassium iodide tablets being distributed to Pennsylvania residents living near nuclear plants. The Pennsylvania Department of Health is giving away potassium iodide tablets to anyone living near any of the 5 nuclear power plants located throughout the state. This brings me another memory of a good friend of mine. His mom passed away too. He lived near 5 Mile Island. And cancer also caught up with him, but he was lucky enough to survive. His mom wasn't. A bunch of his friends' moms down in Pennsylvania didn't make it. They're attacking us. It's a full spectrum attack. There's poison in the tap water. There's poison in the air with the chemtrails. There's poison in the food given to us by Monsanto via the GMOs, genetically modified organisms. We are being hit on all sides. And you need to see this and wake up. And now that you know that they are poisoning our vaccinations, you must not give vaccinations to your children, or you are an accessory. When they come down with that cancer virus 20, 30 years from now, consider yourself an accessory for knowing that these vaccines are poison and you still gave it anyway. Sign the religious waiver and turn it in. All right, next article by J.D. Hayes from naturalnews.com. Drug scarcity hits Medicaid as states limit spending. Remember when Obama said, you could keep your insurance and don't worry about nothing. Well, opponents of the measure said it would raise premiums. The administration said it wouldn't, but it does actually by an average of $2,100 per household. President Obama said repeatedly that if you like your current health insurance, you'll get to keep it. Now we are finding that scores of employers will be dropping employee coverage because, you guessed it, the law creates an increase in insurance rates. So now you have, let's say, Oxford or Unified Healthcare, whatever it's called. Your employer just may cut that and give you the Obamacare, which now you got to wait months and months and get a referral just to see a regular doctor, physician. We need to abolish Obamacare. By the way, President Obama contacted me. He said he would like to straighten this out, and he will be on the show next week. So join me next week. President Obama will be guest hosting. And he's going to explain himself, he says. I like to see this. But anyway, let's move on to our next article. This is from Broward Palm Beach New Times. Cop strip search mom forcibly pulled tampon out of her for maybe rolling through a stop sign. Yes. Last July, Leah Tarantino claims that she was pulled over by an officer with the Citrus County Sheriff's Department The cop then placed Tarantino in the back of a squad car where she allegedly sat for 2 hours. When backup arrived, Tarantino was strip searched on the side of the road with her children in the back seat, where passing motorists could see everything, and that's when a gruesome twist took place. A female officer arrived on scene and forcibly removed a tampon from Tarantino on the side of the road. This is allegedly. If this is true, you officers are scumbags. Pulling out a tampon on the side of a road from a lady in front of her 2 children? You will be sentenced in the next life. If this is true. God help your soul. All right, next article by Paul Joseph Watson. Surveillance cameras turned off during Skia temple shooting. Questions over eyewitness reports of multiple shooters buried. That's right. I don't know if you heard about the Skia shooting where they shot up the Indian, the Sikh people, actually. Yeah, the Sikh. Excuse me. Well, the Sikh people in the temple, if you go to YouTube and you go to look up the CNN archive and the Fox archive, which they have buried now, but the first eyewitness interviews, which I always like to go by, the first eyewitness reports were there were 4 shooters. 4 shooters, not 1 shooter, but 4 shooters, and it was a very well-coordinated attack. And of course, just like the Colorado shooter, you know, they go in there, they shoot everybody, and then they have some drugged-up patsy waiting outside. Can't even talk, and he did it. Yeah, right. This is all right in time for the UN Small Arms Treaty to abolish the Second Amendment. You want to take my Second Amendment? Come and take it. Bullets first. So be aware of these false flag attacks. It's going down, people. Going down real hard. Mayor Bloomberg is pushing. He's pushing to take the guns. Calling for police to go on strike. That guy's a scumbag. Piece of filth. All right, next article. FBI, this is from Kurt Nemo. FBI, Constitution stands in way of government thwarting extremist groups. According to the Homeland Security Newswire, the federal government considers extremist domestic organizations as dangerous, if not more so than foreign terrorist organizations. And basically, to sum it all up, they want to abolish the First Amendment. Not only do they want to abolish the Second Amendment, they want to stop people like me or like these crazy racist psycho bags, scumbags, you know, like the KKK and the whoever, the Black Panthers, and which I do not agree with anything they say because they are racist pieces of crap. But they do have a First Amendment right to speak. That I do agree with. Just like I have a First Amendment right. And the FBI says they want to take away our First Amendment to stop influencing other people via YouTube and alternative news. See, you have extremists who go on YouTube and they put up videos of nonsense, and then people fall into it and want to go to war and have a civil war and have a bloodbath. But the answer is not civil war. The answer is peace. Black, white, Latino, Asian, we must all come together as one. As Brother Malcolm X said in the end. Post-pilgrimage Malcolm knew what the hell he was talking about when he was going to bring the United States to the UN court and prosecute the United States. That's why he was killed. Because he understood the true meaning of Islam. Which is unity. Black, white, whatever you are, as long as you're human, you are one of us. And when we all unite, we the people come together, we cannot be stopped. All right. Let's take some phone calls. 212-245-7273. We are live. It is August 11th, Saturday. Give me a call. 212-245-7273. All right, next article. All right, before we get to our next article, let's take this phone call. Caller, you are on the air. What's on your mind? Oh, boy. Hold on. Caller, try again.
Hello?
Caller, go ahead. I can hear you now.
Oh, yeah. What's up, man? Yeah. Did I heard you right that, Bloomberg was trying to pull the police off the force if gun control goes through? Because I've been hearing rumors that if, there's gun control, the police are threatening to strike. And now, first of all, it's illegal to have that strike because you're not allowed to strike the city if you work for the city. Now, with this case, they feel like, they need guns to protect them.
First of all, Steve, this is Steve from Midtown, everybody. The police don't want to strike. This is all Mayor Bloomberg. The police, I know plenty of police, and they think Mayor Bloomberg is a moron. And they would like to give him a smack upside the head. And if I see Mayor Bloomberg, I'm going to have to control myself. I'll probably just throw a bucket of soda on the guy because he's a scumbag.
One thing about Bloomberg, man, he doesn't admit when he's wrong. That's one thing for sure, man. I heard this on the news yesterday. I forget that lady's name. She was saying this and talking about trying to get guns off the street.
Yeah, everybody's scared of all these guns. Oh, my God, the guns are going to kill us all.
Man.
Even if there were not any guns on the street, people would still find a way to kill people. You can use a butcher knife. You can use explosives. You can use a car. You can use anything you want to kill somebody.
Yeah, it's getting dangerous out there, man. See, the guns are going to the wrong hands. See, that's the problem, man.
And it is statistically proven in academic journals that when in counties and countries and states where there are more legally owned guns, there is less crime. Crime is absolutely the lowest. Israel has the lowest murder rate, one of the lowest murder rates in the world. You know why? Because every Israeli citizen is required to arm themselves.
Right. Now, when it comes to civil unrest, now if they're trying to disarm us and all that, I know people are going to rebel. If there happen to be civil unrest, which is on the uprise here, but that comes later.
Absolutely.
Now, last week, you're talking about Rex 84, right? What is that? That's a bill or something?
Rex 84 is a plan that Oliver North came up with. It's basically like the NDAA, where they're going to put American citizens in FEMA and concentration camps.
Oh, okay.
Anything else on your mind, Steve?
Now, what is the difference between fusion and concentration? Is that all the same?
A fusion sensor is where they collect information. A concentration sensor is where they put your ass. I appreciate the call, Steve. And that's the bottom line, okay? They're coming. They are coming, and they're spying on all of us. Like in this next article, it says, the federal government is spying on every single American, say NSA whistleblowers. Ethan A. Huff from naturalnews.com says, 2 former high-ranking officials at the U.S. National Security Agency, the NSA, a federal bureaucracy that collects data and intelligence on foreign communications for national security purposes, have come forward with allegations that the NSA actively monitors Americans as well. According to the testimonies from both Thomas Drake, a former NSA senior official, and Kurt Wiebe, a former NSA senior analyst, the agency actively monitors and collects intelligence on every single American as part of a massive spying operation. You see, you ever seen the movie Enemy of the State with Will Smith and Gene Hackman? And he goes, you can't talk on the phone, you can't say keywords because they got these computers that flag keywords. You say bomb, you say assassination, you say conspiracy, whatever it is. The computer red flags it, it brings it to one of their human NSA processors, and he filters the call, and they truly spy on you. Even Leon Panetta admitted that all of the gadgets, our washing machines, our new toaster ovens, our microwave ovens, our televisions, they all have the capability to spy on us. Just Google tracking lights pick up wireless data in Wisconsin. Google microphones in cable boxes, Magnafox cable boxes, cameras in cable boxes. You will find tons of articles on this. Not on the mainstream, of course, because they don't want to talk about this. All right, let's move on to our next article. U.S. Army tactical manuals describe how to control domestic insurrection. In 2010, the U.S. Army's operating concept 2016-2028 was published and explains how armed forces in the U.S. and overseas will behave in the future. Basically, they are having war games against... They're going to say, we're having war games to fight the Tea Party in the future. We expect to go to war with the Tea Party. Why are they having war games? Why is the U.S. military having war games to fight the Tea Party? I'm telling you. And then there's a bunch of psyops here. I watched True Blood, and in this last episode, the vampires blew up the banks, the blood banks, the true blood banks. And I think that is acclimating or preparing us psychologically to get ready for the banksters to blow up their own banks or the federal banks and then blame it on Americans. So watch out for that. They always like to give key little hints in TV shows. Just look up The Lone Gunman, where the 2 planes were flown into the World Trade Center 6 months before 9/11. How the hell did they come up with that script? All right, moving on. Ministry of Homeland Security rolls out armored vehicles. A post today on the Daily Poll website shows a fearsome black special response team armored vehicle and a flatbed trailer in transit somewhere in Kentucky. I got this photo right here. I'll show it to you. They're coming out with these new armored vehicles. Here it is. It's this big black tank-looking thing. And basically, they're going to join forces with the police departments, your local police departments and such. And they're going to use those vehicles to sweep through your neighborhoods and basically try to take you to the FEMA camp. They're going to collect the information via the fusion sensors, and then they're going to come and get you. So don't wait home for them. Come up with a plan B and get the hell out. All right, last article. Why is the U.S. government funding Islamic terrorists who are killing Christians? That's right. Do you know in Libya and in Syria, Gaddafi allowed Christians to stay in his country? Assad allows Christians to have churches. But Al-Qaeda, the Syrian rebel forces, they are called, but they are really Al-Qaeda or out there killing priests, killing Christians, killing Jews, killing all kinds of good people. And Al-Assad, who are they demonizing as a scumbag dictator, is actually trying to help Christian people. I'm a Christian man myself. This is absurd. And the U.S. is supporting Al-Qaeda and other terrorists in Syria, funding terrorist groups in Iran, supporting Al-Qaeda in Libya, and the U.S. supports Saudi Arabia as one of the closest allies, even though Saudi Arabia restricts all religious other than Islam, including the possession of religious items such as the Bible, crucifixes, and the Star of David. Christians are arrested and lashed in public for practicing their faith openly. Muslims are forbidden to convert to another religion. And these are our allies, and meanwhile we're attacking people who protect Christians? Obama should be arrested for the violation of the National Authorization Act, National Defense Authorization Act. He should be arrested because it clearly states in the National Defense Authorization Act that if you aid or help Al-Qaeda, you are going to be disappeared and no damn lawyer for you. Remember that, Lindsey Graham? You scumbag? All right, we're out of time. God bless America, God save the Constitution, and if you have received this transmission, then you are the resistance. Stay up. In world
Shine the light. I'm an info warrior. I have come to fight. I'm an info warrior. Come to shine the light. You can't take my bow. You won't take my spear. I'm in the spirit. There is no fear. You can't take my bow. You won't take my spear. I'm in the spirit. There is no fear. I'm in info. The drums of war are calling. Calling out to you. The tribes of man are waiting for braves to fight for truth. I'm an info warrior. I have come to fight. I'm an info warrior. Come to shine.
you an info warrior. Well, first and foremost, my mind was unlocked on the very day of, coincidentally, July 4th of 2004, when I was told by my good friend Charles to go watch Loose Change. But then my mind got further unlocked in 2009 when my constitutional rights were violated. And then that just opened up Pandora's box. And me being an info warrior and doing my research and doing my homework, I stumbled upon this, coincidentally, around the anniversary network. This is the People's Network, where we, the people, get a chance to exercise our First Amendment and redress our grievances to our government, our tyrannical government, those pieces of garbage. All right. Before we get started with news today, today is August 11th, and tomorrow would be August 12th, the 7th anniversary of my mother's death, Miss Evelyn Diaz. And a lot of people always ask me, why do you do what you do? Why are you won't take my fear. I have come to fight. There is no fear. I'm an info warrior. Come to shine the light. There is no fear. I'm an info warrior. You can't take my fear. I have come to fight. Good evening, my family, my friends, and my enemies. We are live. This is Live Free or Die, and I'm your host, King Eli, king of alternative news on your Manhattan neighborhood.